Alright guys, so yes, actually, this is the first product that I developed. It is made out of titanium. I want to show you why I created that product and how I made $50,000 with it within just 30 days. So to get started, we're going to go to Kickstarter.com. Okay, this is Kickstarter.com. If you're not familiar with Kickstarter, if you're not familiar with crowdfunding and how this works, go watch this video right here and then come back to this one. Because first it's going to be important that you understand what crowdfunding is, what Kickstarter is, and this is a good video on that, so go watch that and then come back to this video. Alright, so the strategy here was actually quite simple. I came to Kickstarter.com, and let's come up here to this Explore section. I'm going to click into Projects We Love. I'm going to click out of that though. I just want to get to this menu here, okay? Show me all projects on Earth that are, I'm going to close that one. And all we want to do is play with this tab here. So basically the whole strategy here is this, and Kickstarter makes this information completely available to us. What types of products historically have done well on Kickstarter, and what type of products currently are doing well on Kickstarter. So we need to look at the past, so successful projects in the past, and then we're going to look at the projects that right this second are successful on Kickstarter. And not Amazon, sorry. Kickstarter makes this very easy. For the looking into past projects that have been successful, they give us two ways to do that. Right here, most backed and most funded. Again, if you haven't watched the video on what is Kickstarter, go watch that to make sure that all this makes sense. And then to find the projects that are currently successful and much more relevant on Kickstarter right now, we use this popularity section. And that will pull up projects, like I said, sorry, I don't mean to be repetitive, but projects that are live and running right now on Kickstarter that are popular, meaning they're successful, people are donating their money to those projects. So when I first started this, when I first came to Kickstarter.com, I used these tabs to figure out what kind of product I will then go and create. Now that's very different than me going, oh, I've got a cool idea for a product and I'm going to go launch it on Kickstarter. That's super different than me going to the data that exists here on Kickstarter, looking into what's already successful, and then coming up with a tweak off of one of those products or something very similar to that I can then launch on Kickstarter. So basically what I wanted to do, and I like to do this in all of my businesses, is just a really smart business practice, is to minimize risk and ensure success. And the easiest way to do that is just look at what's already successful and then build off of that. Not trying to come up with something completely new and random and out there, but my approach is to look at what already exists and what has been successful and then build off of that. So the most backed tab, I'll click into that. That will show us, that'll bring in the projects that are the most backed projects, okay? The projects that have the highest number of people that have donated money to that project. So right here, Exploding Kittens, they had over 219,000 backers. Fidget Cube was over 154,000 backers. This Reading Rainbow was over 105,000. Okay, you keep going down and loading more and more pages, and you'll see that backer count drop. Now we're into 42,000. So that's the most backed section. That's where you find the projects that the highest amount of people donated money to. Now the most funded section is talking about the amount of money that they raised. So it's not anymore about how many people donated to the campaign, it's how much money was donated to the campaign. Now, in my opinion, the truer tell of how successful a campaign is the amount of backers that contribute to that campaign. But the most funded section is also a very good section to dive into to look at the most successful projects that have ever been on Kickstarter. And then the popularity tab, like I explained, is projects that are currently live right now. So we can see right here that this first project has already raised 820,000 and it has 11 days to go still. This one here has raised 130,000, has 25 days to go still, okay? So what I did is I came to, actually when I first started on Kickstarter, the most backed section didn't even exist. It was just most funded and popularity. I actually like the most backed one better now. But when I first started, it was just the most funded tab. So I came to most funded. And then I browsed through a lot of these pages. And what I was doing as I was browsing is I was looking, one, at what kind of products I'm seeing, and two, I wanted to see patterns or genres or specific products that were repeating, right? So I was first looking for one, just kind of like what's there, and then two, I wanted to spot things that were repeating. And so let's just actually do that. We might be able to. So all right, so quickly right here we see game, 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 game. Now I personally stay away from games, so we're not even going to look at those. I just ignore those because that's really a completely different type of product development and all that. So staying away from games. And so I'm looking at identifying different trends, different repeating patterns or whatever. So okay, so here's a couple watches. Paying attention to that. Keep scrolling down. There's a bag. Did I see a bag up here? No bag. Okay, so I'm going to keep scrolling. So I'm taking note: blanket, 3D printer, earbuds, luggage. There's another watch, shower. I'm not sure what that is. Maybe a movie or something. I thought maybe it was a blanket for a second, but I don't think it is. So some sort of transform your smartphone into a laptop device, another 3D printer, another 3D printer. Okay, so just right here, we've already seen, let's just use the 3D printer trend. Okay, we've seen that there are 3D printers. We've seen 3 of them that have been extremely successful. Now, a 3D printer, that's obviously a bigger undertaking than a cup, right? But just to illustrate the point here, that's what I did is I came into this section and I browsed project after project after project, and I found repeating patterns like we're seeing here with this 3D printer. And one pattern that I found was titanium. Products that were made out of titanium. Now, this was several years ago. Titanium might not be as strong currently on Kickstarter because things, patterns, trends, whatever, go in and out. People like different things at different times. But at that time, when I browsed the most funded section and the popularity section, I found that titanium was a material that people were buying. And then I noticed another trend, another thing that was popping up in all of these successful projects, cups. I saw that cups were doing well. So then I basically just mixed and matched, right? Or another word for this is called cool hunting. But basically what I did is I identified, okay, titanium's working well and cups are working well. What if I merge them and make a cup out of titanium? And so that's exactly what I did. But how did I do that? Quite simple. I went to Alibaba.com. If you're not familiar with Alibaba.com, it's a website with a bunch of Chinese manufacturers. I came here, I typed in titanium cup, and I browsed the images, and then I reached out and talked to suppliers that made these titanium cups, told them my idea, said, here's the size I want it, here's how I want it to look. We came up with this. Then I came over here to Kickstarter.com, and I launched a campaign, called it True Taste Titanium Cup. And as you can see right here, it raised $48,000, and I believe this campaign ran like 32 or 34 days or something like that. So that there is the process of how I went from not knowing how to do any of that to doing it, and doing it successfully. Like I said, I really didn't have prior experience. I'd never made a product before that. I'd never worked with Chinese manufacturers before that. I'd never done a Kickstarter campaign before that. But what I did is I went to Kickstarter.com and I did my research, and I found patterns and mixed and matched those and made a new product based off of those. So you can do the very same thing too, and I encourage you to do the very same thing. Go mess around with the most funded, most backed popularity tabs. Figure out what kind of products are doing well right now. Figure out what kind of products have done well historically. Figure out within there what's one that you can make it, put it up on Kickstarter, and raise some money for it.